Uh, my sister has to do this sort of thing too, because she's a reporter, so she always has to ask people, oh, is it okay? Can you hear me or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the prompt. Think of a word that's challenged you, inspired you, or somehow become a theme in your life. What does this word mean to you? So how do you want me to go about answering that? Just answer it?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say the word would be different. It's something my dad preached a lot to me early on in life, and still does, consequently. And it's something that his dad preached to him. So in my dad's childhood home, there's a chalkboard that comes right before the entrance exit of the house, front door, and his dad would always write something on it to remember each day. And so the two that my dad always used to tell my sisters and I was help somebody today and be different. So yeah, it's just something emphasized in my life, is to be different. I think that can maybe sound kind of superficial, like he wants you to stand out in some way, and while it probably does mean that, I think I take it more on a courageous basis. I think it's really interesting that everybody is an individual. Everybody has their own likes, dislikes, passions. You know what I'm saying? But with that, I think that society is kind of stay in the background, kind of blend in, don't necessarily stand out, just kind of blend in with the crowd. And so in saying be different, I feel as though my dad's saying, look, you are who you are, you have these certain passions, and if people don't like those or don't think the same way as you, or don't want to go about achieving something or another in the same way, don't be afraid to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then likewise, I think the term's really cool, because especially if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, I think I can't give you specific verses, but there's a lot of specific passages where it says the world will turn away from you, or the world will turn against you, some sort of persecution will occur. So just being different in the sense, in a godly sense as well, not falling to the ways of the world is also an aspect of it, I'd say.
Definitely. How do you think you've seen being different? What does that mean for you?
Okay. I would say, so I'll apply it in an athletic sense, specifically with my sisters. My sisters were really, really, they're good athletes right away. It was evident early on in life. And so they ran track, and they wanted to be really good at track. But we live in Greenville, Illinois. It's a really small town of 7,000. And so, the resources to be a great track athlete are not necessarily there.
Yeah.
And so my parents are like, well, how can we develop our daughters to be really good track athletes? And so they hear about this place. It's about an hour away from our town, and it's this track club run by this dude who's said to be great track coach, but it meets every day at 6 a.m. It's an hour away. So suddenly I'm 6. My sisters are in junior high. We're waking up every morning. We're waking up at 5 a.m. and driving to an hour away to East St. Louis, which is a 95% black community. And my sisters are running for this Olympic track coach.
Oh, gosh.
This guy has coached Jackie Turner-Kersey. She was a gold medalist in the heptathlon. And we are literally, my sisters are the only white people on the team. So from I think that's being different in one of two ways. Number one, that sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Just the pursuit to go that far, to wake up at really early times, force your kids to get up at that time, saying, you want to be good at this, we have to go about this in a certain way. And it's going to be really difficult. I'd say that's different. And then number one, it's different because it's not our culture. You know what I'm saying? We have to throw ourselves into this predominantly black culture that we know nothing about. As a
Mhm.
6-year-old, I don't really know what's going on. But it's an awesome experience because number one, you learn and grow in relationships with those people who are different from you, and that's important. You recognize differences, and then number two, my sisters were great track athletes.
Yeah.
One was a state champion in the 400. The other was a runner-up. They both got Division I college scholarships to go run track.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's just
Pays off.
yeah, and then just being different in that one area sends a message to the entirety of life in some senses, because it teaches you to apply yourself, and if you want to go after it, I mean, really go after it. Don't just do something halfway.
Yep. How are you different?
That's a good question.
All the ways.
Yeah, it's a question that I mean I think everybody's trying to figure that out in one way or another and grow into that. My dad says I'm different because if you look on the basketball roster, it used to be, it's changed now, which I'm happy about, but it used to be everybody's from Indiana, and I was the one guy from a different state, and he said he loved that. He said I'm being different, which I like. But now there's another guy from Pennsylvania. So how different am I? I would say I'd be different just in what I like to do and what I want to do and what I'm passionate about. I really like reading and writing. You like reading and writing.
I love reading and writing.
It's something that I would like to do professionally in one way or another. I think, I mean, it's difficult for me to like tell people that, because you tell people, what do you want? Like, you know, it's a common question, like when you go home and you go to like church or you see new friends. So what do you want to do with your life?
Yep.
And I say, well, honestly, I'd like to write professionally. And they say, okay. You know, it's just kind of like a dream on scenario, you know? But, you know, I gotta be honest, because my parents sent us that message of being different and showed us how to go about doing it, really pursuing it fully with my sisters, and then, I mean, they did similar stuff with me. I like my sister's example better. But because they provided that example, I think I'll be different in the sense that I'm not gonna give in to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna say, yeah, I'd like to write professionally, then I'm gonna really, really work at writing professionally and try to develop the skill as best I can. And will it work out? Who knows? But let's roll the dice here.
Right. You know, like, as cheesy as it sounds, like, you'll never know if you don't try.
Yeah.
And like not try like halfway.
Yeah.
Go all in.
Go all in. If you don't go all in, what are you doing? You know? Yeah.
I like it.
I hope that's productive for you.
Oh, for sure.